Good morning, dear friends. What a blessing to be with you today. We are here at the Spiritism side of Richmond in collaboration with Kardec Radio, bringing to you another chapter from the book Calmness by the Spirit Emmanuel through the mediumship of Francisco Cândido Xavier. I hope this message today reaches you as an opportunity of reflection, as a blessing and strengthening of whatever trials you're undergoing today. Remember, we have as many joys and blessings in our lives as we have difficulties. And one of the joys we have in this lifetime is to have these teachings available to you and I. In today's message from the book Calmness, which we are here to bring to you so that we can find this opportunity, this state of tranquility in our lives. Who does not need to be calm these days? Correct? Everyone needs a little bit more calmness and serenity in their lives, and it starts with that recognition that we need to work on it. Today's chapter is titled by Emmanuel, Bad Mood. How is your mood today? And let's say we have good moods and bad moods. And if you are in a bad mood, what does that mean? What kind of effects does bad mood has in your lives, in our lives? Because we are, let's face it, we're not perfect. We're not all in good mood. We're not always happy, always joyful, even though we should be. Not in a Pollyanna way, but just recognizing the blessing it is to be together in this lifetime, to have this lifetime in order to progress, in order to grow. Therefore, we need to focus on the optimism and the goodness, but might be days where we are working to fight this bad mood that has reached us. And Emmanuel has a very interesting message about bad mood, and he will say, if the bad mood involves you in the form of a suffocating shadow, what do? He says, try to examine its origins so that you can liquidate it or extinguish it as soon as possible. So, what is the reason that you may be in a bad mood? What is the origin of your bad mood? Is it something within you that is worrying you, is causing you to be irritated, not in as unpleasant mood as you could? Or are we allowing the actions, the events around us, the actions of others and the events around us to create in us a sense of irritation and a bad mood? Because the moment, as he says, we know what is causing it, we can work on extinguishing it. He says another thing here in the first line, if a bad mood involves you in the form of a suffocating shadow. So we may not realize it, but when we are in a bad mood, we have this suffocating shadowing around us. Because ultimately our lives are created by the thoughts we have. Emmanuel says in the book Thought in Life, right? And we also know that thought is a mental particle from the book Mechanisms of Mediumship, for example, by Andrea Luiz. So whatever we think, whatever mood we are, whatever disposition our mental bodies have, our mental attitude is what's going to be around us. He's saying involving bad mood involves us in the form of suffocating shadow. We can't breathe well, we can be well, we feel when you're suffocating, you feel without air, you feel without vitality, right? So find the reason for the bad mood so that you can extinguish it. He says, if any debt worries you, it will not be with roughness that you obtain the precious resources in order to rescue it. So if we are indebted to someone, and we can extend this conversation to money indebtedness, because we use money as a tool to exchange goods in this world, for example, but also we may have emotional debts, psychological debts that we have towards others. Being rough is not going to allow you to find these precious resources in order to go rescue that debt, to pay that debt. And then he's going to give us a couple of things to work on. He says, when disease appears, ask, it is asking for medicine, not intolerance, to cure itself. So when we become ill, we need to look for that medicine, physical medicine that is blessed on the earth, the physical resources that we have, that spirituality has inspired the researchers and physicians to develop, so you and I can benefit from healing in the physical realm, but also spiritual health, spiritual medicine, emotional medicine, psychological treatments, and so on and so forth. So, intolerance is not going to cure the disease, but medicine will. Needing the cooperation of someone for a particular venture, the frown will not win you any sympathy. So let's say we need someone to help us with our work, with our family life, or with our spiritist groups and religious groups. Being in a bad mood will not win any sympathy. If we're always in a bad mood, complaining and pessimist, we're not going to attract anybody to help us. He says family setbacks are not broken by sour phrases. How many of us has family difficulties and setbacks and relationships that are not as harmonized as they should be? He's saying sourness is not going to bring the breakage of those barriers so that we can reach them out. But love and understanding and kindness, it is. Maybe we've been conditioned to see a difficult situation in family and be bitter, make comments that are not elevated, push the buttons of our loved ones because we know where they are. And he's saying family setbacks will not be broken up by sour phrases. What if you want to acquire companions and collaborators? He's saying irritation is an old process of losing friendships. How many of us have friends, or we are the friends of someone? We're always irritated. They're always complaining about something. They're always unable to see the good in things. They're always bothered by people's actions. It's very difficult to be around us. Therefore, irritation will lead us to lose those friendships. He says, remember, no one can achieve something without others. Have you thought about it? Everything that you've accomplished today has been the product of your collaboration with someone else. Even if we sit down and read and study, someone had to put together the Spiritist magazine or the book Calmness by Emmanuel together so that you and I could study and learn. And then now the knowledge is in my mind, but I didn't come here by yourself. I depended on Chico Xavier, his willingness to serve, which we deeply thank him. We're deeply grateful to his work. And we needed Emmanuel and the good spirit's authorization to bring us these teachings. Even when we think we are alone, he says here, no one can achieve something without others. We are all interdependent. Individualism is as bad of a plague as pride and selfishness. When we think we can do everything on our own, we're being prideful and selfish. So nobody knows until today where bad mood ends and illness begins. So hopefully we can find in science a relationship one day with someone being irritated in a bad mood and being ill. If we only knew that our vibrational pattern can help with our physical and spiritual health, it would change our outlook. In the beginning of this chapter, he's saying, if bad humor involves you as a suffocating shadow. So if you're in a suffocating shadow atmosphere of bad mood that we've created or we've allowed others to bring to us in an emotional contagion situation, it's still our choice. We can still choose the shield of emotional wholeness and nourishment to help us with that. It says nobody knows where the mood ends and the illness begins. If you are around bad mood, if you're developing bad mood, we were constantly irritated. We need to find ways to see what is causing this on me. It's always about what can I do to bring this calmness, because we may not be able to control the actions of others, but we can always control our reaction to those actions, right? So that we can control, are we going to see this as an opportunity for growth, replace the bad mood with a better outlook in life, or are we going to allow ourselves to be irritated in a bad mood? If you want to get rid of this destructive mask, the bad mood, cultivate patience and learn to smile. That's an interesting thing. How many times have you tried to be grumpy and angry, especially if it's someone that you know and your loved one, and they are smiling and they're happy? It's very difficult to keep up that grouchy mood, that grumpy mood around people who smile and they're kind and they're patient. So be patient with yourself. If you find yourself today in a bad mood, recognize, ask, examine its origin so that you can work in extinguishing that difficulty. If you find yourself in this situation, reach out to others, go for service, reach out to friends, be in community, be in society. We can serve even when we need to socially distance, physically distance ourselves from others so we don't make others sick. There are ways that we can work on while being around one another where we can extinguish this bad mood. So I hope that this inspires you to evaluate how many times bad mood has brought you sourness, bitterness, illnesses, the suffocating shadow, so that we can work on eliminating the suffocating shadow and bring about changes in a better mood, a brighter mood, cultivating patience and learning to smile. Dear friends, our gratitude to Emmanuel, our gratitude to Chico Xavier, our gratitude to the good spirits who guide our path on this earth. Thank you for your mentor, for inspiring you to be here today. Thank you for your viewership. Share this with someone. Perhaps they might benefit from knowing the effects of bad mood in their lives and what to do. Other than that, I hope that your week goes well until between now and the next time we meet. May your day be bright. May your thoughts be joyful. Press on doing the good, and I'll see you next time.